Hey, welcome back to Aussie Wristwatch. I'm Jess. Today we're talking about Formex and in particular a couple of watches from their Essence collection. Now you may recall I did a video on micro brands before Christmas and there were a number of brands in there. It was quite extensive but not exhaustive in terms of the list, and one of the brands was Formex, where I touched on them and one of the Reef models. Once that video went live, people enjoyed it, thank you. Formex saw it and they reached out to me and they asked if I would like to get my hands on a few loaners that they have floating around Australia. And of course I said yes. So today, they sent me 3 watches. I'm going to do 2 videos because 2 of the watches are from the Essence collection, and then they sent me one of the Reef watches, which I've had a lot of fun with, but we'll talk about that separately. So wrist check quickly. I am wearing one of the Formex Essence watches today, and in particular I am wearing is the Essence 39 automatic chronometer, and I'll get this wrong as I usually do, but I think it's DÉGRADÉ, and it's 39 mil, hence the name 39, and it sits actually really well on my wrist. I'll definitely put up some videos. Now 39, you guys know, and we'll talk about this later, small watch for me, but that's not because it doesn't fit or suit, it's just a personal preference. But it's an elegant watch. The brown dial is particularly different, but surprisingly cool. Formex, and look, for those of you who watch this channel, you'll understand and know that I am definitely a watch enthusiast. I'm not a watch expert, and the whole point of this channel is for me to learn about watches and brands and movements, everything. And so I didn't really know a lot about micro brands until I started looking into them last year, including knowing about Formex. Now they've been around since about 1999, and it's 2 brothers who actually created the brand, and they're very much into adventure sports, motor racing, and I love watches. So they're, you know, boys after my own heart, if I can put it that way. Name Formex is derived from Forme Extreme, and it's basically meaning form extreme. And they've combined the words together on a bit of a word play. And they're originally inspired by engineering, mechanics, and high performance cars, along with motorbikes and other sort of adventure activities. Now this is really important because Formex have, now I could call it famous. I don't know if it's famous, but it feels like it should be. They have a suspension case system, which we will talk about, which is pretty unique and pretty epic. And it reminded me of all the comments basically when I did the Breitling Deus Ex Machina video the other week, and people were like, you'd never ride that on a motorbike because the automatic movement wouldn't like it. Well, Formex has the answer to that with the suspension case. That's why it's genius. And the other thing about Formex, which makes them not so much unique, but just, I guess, a watchmaker of our time, is they don't have traditional bricks and mortar stores. They're very much geared to online shopping. And if you go on their website, it's actually quite a joy. It's set up exceptionally well. And the way you purchase your watch is you pick the model, you pick the strap, you tell them the size of your wrist, and it's very much customized to you as the purchaser. And I really like that about the brand. Essence collection is the dressier collection for Formex. It's well suited obviously to an office environment. I mean, you just have to look at this and go, yeah, it's perfect in an office with a suit, kind of, you know, in that kind of corporate-y environment. And you can also dress it down with, you know, chinos or a sundress or whatever the case may be for a bit more of a casual look. It's actually a cool watch. The more I've been wearing it, the more I'm in love with it. I'm actually in love with the white dial, which is sitting over here in the Formex box. Now, I think I'm also in love with it, because it's slightly bigger. It's 43 millimeters. But I don't have a white dial watch, and I'm quite enamored by them every time I see them. So it must mean that I need to add one to the collection and do that very soon. Let's go through the specs very quickly. So the DÉGRADÉ, the diameter is 39 millimeters, 10 millimeters height, lug width 20 millimeters. lug to lug of 45 millimeters with a water resistant 10 bar, which is 100 meters or 330 feet. And it weighs case only 65 grams. Now the difference between that and the 43 is this. So the 43 is the diameter of 43 millimeters, height's 10.6 millimeters, lug width 22 millimeters, lug to lug is 49 millimeters. Water resistance is the same at 10 bar or 100 meters. And the weight with the case only is 80 grams. Now that all makes sense given we're talking about 4 millimeters difference in size and diameter. So it's going to kind of make up for it in that regard. Material is stainless steel 316L, sapphire crystal front and back with anti-reflective treatment. The movement on the 39 DÉGRADÉ is a Swiss-made Sellita SW200-1 and it's a self-winding automatic chronometer grade. It's officially certified COSC, it's a COSC certification, in other words. 26 joule with a Glycadur balance wheel. Date display, custom built skeleton rotor with thermally blued screws. And it's a 41-hour power reserve. Now, the movement on the 43 white is actually exactly the same, except the power reserve is 38 hours, so it's slightly less. Straps for these. Okay. I was sent the bracelet straps and I was sent a couple of other straps in the box. In fact, there was just like a bunch of straps thrown loosely into the box that was sent to me, so I kind of worked out which went with which. So there's an Italian brown calf leather that actually goes with this watch, the 39, which, as you'll see in the pictures, really helps pop this brown sort of coppery dial that they've got going on here, which was actually quite a great look. Unfortunately, it didn't come with a clasp, so I couldn't actually wear the watch with the leather strap. I could just look at it and see what it looked like aesthetically. You can buy different clasps as well as straps and bracelets on the Formex website. The entire look and feel of your watch is customizable, which makes it great. Rubber. So we have a deployment clasp. Now this is a really big rubber strap. So as you can see here with my wrist, that's about, I think, 17.5 centimeters, so it's not tiny, but even I would probably need a slightly smaller strap. I couldn't actually tell you, I don't think, what the size of this one is, but it doesn't matter. For the purposes of this exercise, it looks great on a black rubber strap, as it does on the bracelet. And I've been wearing this one around town. I fully admit I've been wearing all of them around town. I've enjoyed wearing these watches, period. So I've had a ball, quite frankly, and it's been really fun to have someone lend me watches that I can like treat as my own and kind of walk around in and live in for a period of time to get a real genuine feel and understanding for the watch. It's very different to when you try something on in a store for like 5 minutes, right? Walking around in it, I get a feel for the weight. I get a feel for just how the bracelet fits on my wrist, and being summer here in Australia, this is quite loose. But as soon as I step outside and it's even 25 plus degrees, like everything swells, including my wrist, so it's nice to be able to get a feel for that and see how that works. And likewise the rubber, and the deployment clasp I'm really enjoying. It's quite large, but with the rubber, it fits well. With the bracelet, it's a little bit wide for me. So that's kind of interesting to know, and if you guys are keen to understand that a bit more, that's my view. I've said 17.5 centimeters for my wrist size, so if you've got a similar wrist size, you're probably going to have a similar issue with that on the metal. The rubber is okay because the rubber's quite thin. It's also very supple, and it just kind of, it hugs your skin. It's great. The dial on these watches is quite spectacular. So the dial is a vertical brush finish with horizontally cut lines, which are CNC machined, and they're done one by one. And there's a BGW9 Superluminova on the hands and indices. I don't know if you guys recall, but the Oris watch I just did, which I really enjoyed, but it was a very bland dial. So these are not. At the beginning of Formex in 1999, they've got a patented case suspension system, and it's been integral to the part of every single Formex timepiece. Now there's two main functions to this. It absorbs shock to protect the mechanical movement from heavy impacts. So motorbikes, skiing, mountain biking, adventure sports, high impact of any kind, this watch kind of comes into its own, and it adds to the comfort on the wrist by adapting to the wearer's movements. Modeled with high performance bikes and racing cars in mind. Now, I don't know about you, I actually know some people who race cars, and I'm not talking about professionals, that'd also be very cool, but no, average Joes, so to speak, who take their sporty vehicles out on the weekend and race. So guys, this is the watch for you. Formula One drivers who don't give a shit about their sponsorship, this is the watch potentially for you. This is probably a watch for me for mountain biking. I generally wear my Luminox mountain biking. My wife wears her Breitling Pro Endurance, which I'm still jealous about that watch, but that's a $5,000 watch, so I'm probably not going to wear that mountain biking anyway. But I think maybe the Essence, maybe not. Sorry, I think maybe a Formex, maybe not the Essence, maybe one of their more adventure sort of type watches. But hey, if I wanted to, I know I could wear this watch mountain biking. The shock absorption system is designed to protect the mechanical movement and deliver comfort. Now it does this because it's got an integrated forespring between the upper and lower watch case. And you can see it in this little promo video from Formex, and it seems to me that it's quite ingenious, but yeah. Now let's talk price, shall we? These watches are roughly the same price, and it depends on what bracelet you get. But let's take, for example, on a bracelet rather than a strap, your 39 and your 43 are $2,400. I'm talking Australian, so that's monopoly money to everyone else out there, like America. It's going to be sub $2,000 for you by quite a lot. It's about $200 less if you go a rubber strap. So arguably, I think you're better off getting the bracelet than adding the other straps later, but to each their own. You customize and select your strap when you order, and you also have to tell them your wrist size, which means they give you the strap that actually fits. Hallelujah! Why this can't be done for every other brand out there, I don't know. The other thing that's revolutionary about these, and I'll stuff this up because I'm doing it on the fly, but I've done a couple of videos online. There is a quick release system for these bracelets. This one is slightly different to the Reef, which will go on tomorrow, but how easy was that? Now you guys will remember, if you've watched the State of My Collection video, I have a Tag Heuer Quartz Formula One, which I really love that watch, but I took the bracelet off, with great difficulty I might add, and have since been unable to put anything on it, and I haven't taken it to a watchmaker to get it fixed. I mean, I'm somewhat embarrassed, but not really. But look at that. Effectively, it just goes straight back on. It's unbelievable. Just absolutely gobsmacked at how cool these watches are. Thank you. Also, in addition to Formex, I have to thank the watch dealers on the Gold Coast, because they are now, I understand, and God, I'm probably going to get this wrong, so I apologize to Formex and to you guys, but they're officially an authorized dealer of Formex here in Australia now. And it's those guys who, in a roundabout kind of way, sent me the watches. So they came from Formex, they were sitting with the watch dealers, and the watch dealers were kind enough to pass them on to me, and I will send them back to them. Bracelet is back on, and my thoughts on this watch and the 43. And I'll pop the 43 on for a little bit because, you know, I'm equal opportunity here. There we go. How good is that? So, look, as I said, I'm actually really enjoying these watches. It's the first time someone's lent me a watch where I've been able to wear them and really try them out properly and give them a good hard go. As I said, I've got the Reef. I'm going to do a separate video, and I've done a few different things with that. But these guys I've just worn around the house. I've gone out, you know, to the local cafe for a coffee or whatever, and I've had a really good time wearing them. This one just now, again, it fits really well. It's still quite light, but you know it's there in a good way. And it's they're simple and elegant, and they're really robust and well built, and they look fantastic. And it's a COSC certified Swiss made watch. I mean, what more can you ask for, really? And for $2,500 Australian, remember, it's very good value. And again, I'm not comparing apples and apples, right? But I keep thinking about the Oris that I had the other week, which as you know, I really liked, notwithstanding it was a little bland from a dial point of view. In fact, one of my friends gave the analogy that an Oris is like a Volvo. We all know it's a really great quality car, but some of us just can't get past the point of it being a Volvo. And I thought that was pretty apt. Formex is not a Volvo. I feel like Formex is, and I'm going to insult, I mean, I love cars, but I feel like maybe it's a Ford Raptor, or, you know, a cool Jeep or something, like, in the sense that it knows how to have fun, it's robust, it's quality. Then I'm going to get at people going into a whole debate about the Ford and the quality of Fords. That's not what I mean, but hopefully you kind of get the humor of it. But I feel for the price point of this watch, the quality of this watch, the look and the feel of this watch, you're getting a lot better bang for your buck than the $6,500 Oris. Sorry guys to be banging on about Oris, even though I liked it. The titanium bracelet on that is next level. I still stand by that comment. Loved it. But yeah, I think this is a really great, fun brand. I'd really like to get to know them a bit more, like try a few more of their watches. They've got some great GMTs. They've got some really amazing, like, I've got the Reef here, which I'm going to review later, but they've got some other Reefs in the collection, which are next level. I know, I've just had a pure joy with this watch. So if you've liked this, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends. I'm having a ball here, as you know. Yeah, and let me know in the comments if you own a Formex, if you want a Formex, what you think of the Formex in this review, and what you want to see more of. Until next time, guys, thank you.